Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Conversation. We're going to look at Mid-South Wrestling, episode 288, and then we're going to talk professional wrestling. The first thing we need to talk about is the passing of Hacksaw Butch Reed. He passed away earlier, I guess during the weekend, wasn't it, Jack?
Yeah. I think Friday.
Butch Reed, big part of Mid-South Wrestling for many years, and I hated to hear that.
I don't know the exact dates, but he had 2 heart attacks since the first of the year, and I read an article that quoted his son as saying that he did die from having COVID-19.
Wow. And I hate to hear that. But we will be talking about Butch Reed on this program quite often, especially when it comes to Mid-South Wrestling. We'll also start looking at his career as well. All right, Rodney, are we ready to look at Mid-South Wrestling episode 288?
Yes, we are. It begins. It was, of course, originally aired on March the 14th, 1985. And it begins with Boyd Pierce and Bill Watts. And they're talking about today's program. And it's going to be Iceman King Parsons to face the Barbarian today on the program. Then they recap what happened with Ted DiBiase and the windshield. And, of course, Jim Duggan did not file any charges for his vandalism to his car. He said that he will handle it in the ring. And, of course, they will not re-show this because of the heinous nature of the situation. Of course, there's nothing more heinous than watching a Terry Taylor match now, isn't there? Anyway, so in a recap, we saw the match from last week between Terry Taylor and Jake the Snake Roberts, in which Terry Taylor won the match, and then Jake the Snake Roberts pulls off his boot, nails Taylor, and then DDTs him on the chair right there. And then, of course, we have the interview with Terry Taylor as he says that he will challenge Jake Roberts anytime, any place, yet again. And then right in the middle of all these challenges, here comes Ted DiBiase, the North American Heavyweight Champion, to make his own challenge at a title versus title match. On television there today is North American Heavyweight Championship, Ted DiBiase defending against the Mid-South Television Championship held by Terry Taylor. And instead of having the match between Roberts and Terry Taylor, we're going to have the North American Championship versus the Mid-South Television Championship right there on television. And that begins the match. Terry Taylor versus Ted DiBiase. Tremendous match, I believe. In the match, Bill Watts says about Terry Taylor that he isn't braggadocious or overbearing. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I laughed about that. I had to, because if there's anyone braggadocious and overbearing, it was Terry Taylor. Anyway, so in the match, Terry Taylor they're having a tremendous match with Ted DiBiase. And of course, DiBiase doesn't have bad matches. Let's just be honest. At the ringside, here comes Jake the Snake Roberts, and Roberts kind of tries to interfere. And every time Terry Taylor catches him off guard, all of this distracts the referee as Ted DiBiase goes down, loads up that glove, goes to hit Taylor. Taylor ducks, hits him with a atomic drop into the ropes, and then Taylor catches him with a flying forearm, and the new North American Heavyweight Champion is Terry Taylor on that match. The people go crazy. This is a fantastic match. Then goes back to the desk with Boyd and Bill Watts talking about Terry Taylor winning the North American title. And then we go to match number 2, which is the Ugandan Giant / Warrior Savage, whatever you want to call him this week. It's Kamala with Akbar and Friday against Steve Miller. Steve doesn't have much of a chance here. In the end, it's Kamala doing the first Kamala splash, and then he goes to the top rope. And, of course, coming off the top rope at Mid-South was a disqualification, and the match goes to Steve Miller while they try to protect Steve Miller from Kamala coming repeatedly off the top rope with the splash. Match number 3, the Barbarian versus the Iceman King Parson. Another tremendous match. And in the end, the strength of the Barbarian was certainly on display as he gets King Parsons in a full Nelson. The man's so tall, and then it just kind of dangled there in that. And, of course, that was the end of the match. The Barbarian then again attacks him at the end of the match. It caused a disqualification. because if you attack a man in Mid-South after the match is over with, it reverses the decision. And of course, Iceman will be the winner by disqualification. Then it's the Hacksaw Butch Reed coming out. The Barbarian and Akbar then leave after that. Match number 4. Great tag team match coming up. Sheik Hercules Hernandez and Jack Victory against Tom Pritchard and Brad Armstrong. What a tag team match. A tremendous match, of course, building up to the 4-team elimination match that's going to be held the next week on the program. It ends up with all 4 men in the ring. Pritchard drop kicks Hercules. He goes on the outside of the ring. Jack Victory then Brad snatches a headlock on Jack Victory. Victory makes a tag to Hercules, shoots him in, goes down, leapfrog. Brad catches him with the forearm. Hercules goes back on the outside. Tom Pritchard's back in, catches Jack Victory with a drop kick. Brad hits him. This is poetry in emoji. Hits him with a roll up, and it's 1, 2, 3. It's Tom Pritchard and Brad Armstrong in for the win. Tremendous tag team match in that one. Then match number 5, gentlemen, Chris Adams, the American heavyweight champion against Tim Horner. Another fantastic match. And in the end, it's Chris Adams win with a awesome super kick. And tremendous match in that. Match number 6, Steve Bridson and the Golden Terror versus the Rock and Roll Express, who are the Mid-South Tag Team Championship. Double drop kick on the Golden Terror. And as the match is going on, Bill Watts is giving the rundown of what's going to happen next week. And in the ring, and I don't know if you caught it, I think Bill Watts was getting annoyed that the Dirty White Boys were challenging the Rock and Roll Express at the end of the program, and that's the way it went off. Of course, building up to the 4-team elimination match for next week. And, of course, I believe he also said that in 2 weeks, Kerry Von Erich would return. And that was Mid-South Wrestling episode 288.
You know, I thought this was really good. Did y'all notice at the beginning of this episode when Ted DiBiase comes out, you know he talks about the Superstation on that interview?
Yes, he does.
You know, I thought that was crazy because I don't remember that. I don't remember him saying since we're on the Superstation. Did you see that, Jack?
Yep.
Terry winning the North American title really surprised me. I mean, I knew he did it, but I'm just saying that had to surprise people watching that on television.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tremendous match. You know, I have to give both of them the credit they deserve. It was a great match. And the Barbarian Iceman King Parsons, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't see that one coming either.
No, that kind of surprised me.
You know, so I thought, man, this is a good show. And Chris Adams, ain't nobody ever done the super kick as good as him.
No, he was the innovator for sure.
Well, I 4 good points of this was Tom Pritchard, Brad Armstrong, Tim Horner, and no Terry Daniels. So I was happy.
Great show, though. It was a great show, Mid-South Wrestling, episode 288. If you've not seen it, look it up on the WW Network if you have that, or you can find it maybe on YouTube somewhere. You know, but it's a great episode. It's really good. All right, guys, y'all ready to go see what the insiders have got to say?
Let's go.
All right, let's see what everybody's got to say. Let's see. Lance Gardner. Lance Gardner is with us. Good evening, friends. Good evening to you. Victor Nash. Hello, guys. Rest in peace, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Yes, sir, indeed. And Victor Nash, one of our supporters. Glenn Allen Shelton. Hello, folks. Hello to you. There's Freddie Rooster Roper. He's took off your shirt, Jack.
Well, he's painting. He's painting in that picture. You don't want to take a chance.
Oh, okay. Hey, we need to see some old Freddie's paintings.
He's pretty good.
Is he? We're gonna have to look at those, Freddie. You may have to send us a few of those pictures of some of those so we can look at those. Richard Hood is with us. Good evening, fellas. Hello, Richard. Mickey Mayfield also. Hello, gentlemen. Rest in peace. Bruce Butch Reed. Jay Smith. He's on our YouTube channel. Rest in peace, Butch Reed. Saw him right before he went to the WWF in the Central States with Geico. Him and Slick. Lynn Gross is with us. Evening, gentlemen. Evening to you. James William Lawrence III. Hello from Charleston, West Virginia. Aaron Fink. Aaron Fink is with us. Man, Aaron, what do you got going on there?
Yeah,
He's geared. Somebody's getting geared up for Halloween.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. Good evening to you, Aaron. Glenn Allen Shelton, rest in peace. Butch Reed, 66 years young.
Yeah, I'm 62. I'm telling you, 66 is young.
Yeah. Christopher Hughes said, good evening, guys. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to some Mid-South wrestling. Rest in peace, Butch Reed. Glenn Allen is hello from Northwest Tennessee. Tone Cologne. Hello from Philadelphia. I love the name. Tone Cologne.
That's right.
I love it.
Awesome.
How are you doing, Tone? Victor Nash. Who was the Barbarian? The only Barbarian I know was in the NWA. Guys?
That was John Nord.
John Nord. Nord the Barbarian later on, as I think he went to the AWA. He was Nord the Barbarian.
Nord the Barbarian, and he was the Berserker in WWEF, whatever they were. And now you can find him in prison. So,
oh, well, all right then. He berserked himself right on to prison. Good stuff.
Wait, by the way, I got to ask this question. You said that before. What did he go to prison for?
I can't remember what all it was now, but he just kept getting in trouble.
Okay, I didn't. I know you had talked about that. We'll have to look that up and see what he got. He went to prison for. Kevin Penley, Rodney, in his Freddie Miller voice, be there. Mickey Mayfield said that's the best Terry Taylor match he'd ever seen. Or I said I've seen. I put an ever in there, didn't I? He didn't even say ever.
Right, it was a good match. It was a good match. Nobody caught the 2-leg slaps in either corner for the match.
I will tell you something though. Now Terry Taylor and Bobby Fulton used to have some good matches with the Angel and Jerry Novak. Just that little time at Georgia Championship Wrestling Superstars.
Everybody was working hard there. Yeah. Everybody was working hard.
Philip Swindle said, closed caption translated, Terry Taylor as Terry Tater.
And I've watched the closed captioning. I don't watch the I don't listen. I read when I go back and rewatch, and it does. You don't pick up on my
should have said Terry Slapper.
That's right, Terry Tater.
Christopher Hughes. It was a very good match. You're right. Ted doesn't have a bad match. He never did have bad matches.
No, it's always 100%. Always 100%.
Philip says the vice president. But I don't even know what he's talking about. Jay Smith, the last match Butch had before he went to WWF was a loser leave town cage match with Bruiser Brody in Kansas City. Butch lost and went to the WWF where he became the Natural, right?
Yep,
the Natural. That's right.
You know, I watched something. Tony Atlas said that was supposed to be his gimmick. He was supposed to be. That's what he said. I don't know.
Well.
Tony has a different memory from most folks. So.
I was just watching an interview with him today, and that's what he said. He said he was supposed to be he also said he was supposed to be where Tiny Lister was played Zeus. He was supposed to have that role.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I just listened to what he said. We'd have to talk to somebody else about that, but. What do you think, Jack? Was he supposed to have that role?
Well, I didn't see him on the call sheet when I was there.
No, I don't. I'm going to say I'm going to call a BS on that with Tony.
Well, Tony's got some good stories, though. If y'all have not watched any of his stuff, it's pretty good.
I think the guy with Zeus was, quite taller than he was, almost the same size as Hulk Hogan, which would make sense.
Yeah.
Victor Nash said that's the only promotion I ever known not to have an actual TV title belt, and still they had a gold medal. I wonder why they decided to go that route. I've never asked them.
I think Bill Watts wanted it to be different. He didn't want it to be And I thought it worked.
Does he say Uber? Uber, that was awesome match. Jay would have loved to seen it. Am I missing something?
We probably have to look at something else. That's probably responding to something else he had said earlier.
Okay, because I was thinking I'm missing something. But now I've had a long day today, so I could be missing something.
think Budweiser's having a sale today.
It's after the Super Bowl sale, I guess. Kevin Penley said, "Why would you put a wrestling 2 on Hercules when he was too jacked up to look the part?"
It wasn't just there. He was also the assassin number 2, in Mid-Atlantic at one time. Everybody knows. I mean, everybody knew who he was immediately. So I didn't get the reason behind that either. Maybe they just needed somebody in that role and they wanted to do something with him, keep him a job. I don't know.
Yeah, we weren't there when they brought. Well, I guess we had just come in there when they had
come in there. Yeah.
But he was a very good wrestler, though.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he was superb, but it didn't fit. They needed somebody else to fit in that role.
Well, Pat Rose would have been perfect in it. And we saw that later on that year when they went to Southeastern. They did a great job. Wrestling, Pat Rose and Wrestling 2 were great together.
Yeah, it didn't. I think we said that. Wait a minute. What's going on? When we first came in there, there's something wrong with this picture, I think is what we said. Mickey Mayfield said Armstrong and Pritchard were very good together. Should have gone father.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. They could have been a good team there. I just don't get it. They had great matches, just great chemistry together.
And if you'll notice, for whatever reason, now Bill Watts is talking about Bob Armstrong a lot on the show. I didn't get that. During that match, he talked about, in fact, he said he saw Bob earlier that week in Pensacola.
I'm sorry, I slipped off my desk over here for a minute. I thought I was fixing to go on the floor. Let me tell you what I think he originally talked to Bob Armstrong. That is not too far from Brad going to back to Continental.
Yeah,
because what actual date is this? Do you know, Rodney?
It's March the 13th. So we've got a good. No, it's a new 6 weeks.
Maybe he was talking to Bob into trying to get him to come and book.
He actually was, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Glenn Allen Shelton, anyhow, Pluto TV. Check out channel 732.
I will check that out. I have.
Yeah,
check it out.
I got it. I hadn't had a chance to look at it. But yeah, I got it.
All right, Kevin Penley said mask, and maybe we were talking about something at some point. I don't remember. I'm telling you, just been a horrible day today for me. Richard Hood said Chris Adams was a great talent.
He sure was.
He knew what he was doing, and that super kick man, that super kick looked good.
And now I think Chris Adams at this point is in his element. Now I think he's hit the right time, and he really could have got massive amount of heat, and he didn't on this particular show, but he can, and we saw it. He comes and has a match in Shreveport with he and Terry Von Erich, and that place is rocking. At the Municipal Auditorium, great building.
By the way, folks who give the super kick, if you are one of the younger wrestlers, go back and watch this. This is how you give a super kick. Yes. You need to watch this video over and over and over again. This is a super kick. This is the way you give a super kick to someone, because it is tremendous. If you've not seen it,
Warner was awesome, and Tim was great in this as well.
Yes. Victor Nash, Rodney, was it that you refer in the match with U.S. champion Adams?
I might have. I thought I said American heavyweight champion, but I might have said U.S. champion in the second round. But I thought I've said if I did, he was the American heavyweight champion.
Rick Brooks saw Butchery many times in Cincinnati, most notably against Flair. Now, I'm going to ask you a question real quick here. I got to listen to Tony Atlas interview on the way home today. He said that Harley Race beat Butch Reed up one time. Now, I don't think that.
And I can address this real quick, because Bob Cook, everybody remembers Bob Cook, greatest punch in the history of the business. Bob was there. when this happened. It was at a nightclub they'd gone to after a show, and it was just one of those friendly, hey, I think I can take you kind of deal. So they moved tables and chairs out in the middle of the floor in the bar, and Butch and Harley go at it. There's no punches thrown. There's no malice. They walk out of the bar after Harley got him down, and Butch gave up. They walked out of the bar with their arms around each other. So, no, there was no fight. There was no heat. That was put to rest. And then actually, Bob had talked about that a day or so ago. Then somebody saw that interview with Tony and brought that up. And Bob said, I was there. I'm just saying. Tony's and
Okay, I listened to this interview, and I mean, I'm telling you, I was enjoying the Tony Atlas interview. I didn't know what parts of it.
Oh, he's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He just doesn't know when to turn the volume off. I'm looking forward to his acceptance speech in May. We may be there for a while.
Oh man, I'm about to cry over here. Let's see, where was I at now? Glenn Allen Shelton said met him and Kerry in 1986 in is that Killeen, Texas? Killeen, Texas. Butch was a nice guy.
Yeah,
one of the nicest guys you never had an attitude. I never saw it. Maybe other people might have said it. Great Muda. He says super kick is better. I don't know that I can really say that I've seen Great Muda as many times I saw Chris Adams. So I'd have to go back and watch some of those matches just to see. I just watched Chris Adams more because I thought the Freebirds and the Von Erichs had a good feud. But I also thought Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez and the Von Erichs had a great feud. I thought that was good. I put that right up there with the Freebirds because Chris Adams and Gino had some heat. I mean, when they shaved their heads, what did they call the cotton? It was the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was at the Cotton Bowl, but I don't remember what they called it.
But man, they generated. I think they probably drew as much money as the Freebirds did with them. Let's see where we at. Philip Swindell. I cut my teeth on Mid-South Wrestling in South Mississippi. Great memories. Oh, Mid-South Wrestling was a great wrestling organization. It really was. And once it went to the UWF, they had some great television shows. Ken Mantell did a tremendous job on those booking those TV shows. Oh, they were tremendous. They made you want to see it the next week to see what was going to happen. That's what made it. Christopher Hughes says, love watching Chris Adams. Great worker. Just too many demons like Gino and so many. Yvonne Burns, one of our new supporters. Thank you so much for supporting us. Do you think Brad Armstrong was ahead of his time?
I think Brad is for any time. He's just that good. Anytime, any place. He would be able to adapt to any style.
There's a handful of guys that in any generation could have excelled, and Brad is one of those. I had that discussion today. That today, to me, Randy Orton is the only one that could have been a major star back in the 70s, or 60s. I mean, he understands what working is.
Yeah, I agree. Brad, tremendous wrestler, and he could go. Victor Nash, Jack, you need a little more light in your room.
I'm blind right now.
It is coming a little dark, though. I noticed from that, but that could be just it could be our program here that's doing it to you. Let's see. Freddie said, "I am glad to show you some. I'd love to see some of your art there, Freddie. We'd love to see some of that." Kevin said, "Yes, Jack, light up a cigar. We can't find you.
Get the smoke signals going."
Charles is with us. I thought this was a live show. I got dressed up and I'm ready for my interview. Carl Smith, hello from Bill Watts area, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
All right.
Richard Hood, rest in peace, Butch Reed. Yes. Richard Hood also, rest in peace, Leon Spinks. I just seen that. I did not know that he had passed away. I found that out this morning. Great athlete. How old was he?
Oh gosh, can't remember right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I just heard that today. Kevin Bentley said, "Can we trade the leg slap for a couple of dives?"
I'd make that trade.
Oh man, these dives and stuff that they do is incredible. And people are still upset over Undertaker and his comment.
That's because when you tell the truth, it will make people upset.
I don't know that they're getting what he's saying now. I really believe they don't get it because they didn't know. There was a host that hosts a couple of different programs, and people would probably see it. I don't think he understands because there's a difference between territorial wrestling, and I'm talking about the territory system, and today's wrestling.
Yeah.
It was guns, knives, baseball bats. You had to have them in the dressing room, and you made sure because it wasn't the problem getting from the dressing room to the ring or even to the ring and back. It was when you were going to leave to go home that you wanted that stuff.
Yep. Because
usually you had enough security to help you get from point A to point B. Not that you didn't have to fight sometimes to get back. Some guys had so much heat, they had to fight getting to the ring and fight on the way back. But he was trying to explain the difference. Not that he was knocking them. He was just trying to explain the guys had to be
that way because they know it's the truth. All right, let's be honest. Drew McIntyre is just a sports bra away from the women's division. Let's just be honest.
But I don't. Here's the
softest WWE champion of all time. He will never be remembered.
Now, people talk about and Undertaker's not even talking about the territory system because he didn't really wrestle in the territory system. By the time the end of the territory system was going, it was all leaving. What did he start? 1988, 1987, somewhere around there, where the territory system was already done. So he's not even talking about that era. He's talking about the other era of wrestling that people knew what wrestling was.
Yep.
And that one host said, well, people are not getting stabbed and all, all this stuff. Well, that's true, but they wasn't getting stabbed or stuff in Undertaker's as well. They wasn't. That wasn't going on at that point in time.
No, but now he did have that frame of reference of, he was in the locker room, and 90% of the guys that was in the locker room were from that era.
From that era.
So that's where he learned from. That's where I learned from. It's where we all learned from.
So, I don't think they're getting what he's trying to say. You had to be tougher. I told somebody the other day, I'll explain it like this. If you were in a fight and you needed somebody to back you up, would you rather have Dick Murdoch or The Miz? I want Dick Murdoch because I don't think The Miz can fight nobody. I think The Miz could get beat by three women, and the two are just watching, saying, "Go ahead, get them." I don't believe. I'm sorry, but I don't think The Miz can beat anybody. I really don't. I don't think any of them wrestlers today, because you were tough if you got in wrestling because they beat you up before you became a wrestler.
Yeah.
Before they would even smarten you up. Today they train you like it's a ballet instead of training you the way that it was a real sport. It was something real that you were being trained to do, and they beat you up so you'd have respect for the business. I don't think they're getting it. That's what I mean, am I wrong about that, Jack? They're just not getting what he's
you're
trying to say.
completely right. And I have talked to so many. I've made a couple of posts about it on my Facebook page and tried to lay that out, and they just don't get it. They don't have a frame of reference.
No.
Yeah.
And they're so offended that they don't want to hear what you got to say about it.
No.
They're offended, and that's what they're running with.
And that's the same thing that these guys are. All of them.
And it's not because he's saying these guys are not great athletes, because they are.
Yeah.
Tremendous athletes. They're not tough, though. They're not the Dick Murdochs, Dusty Rhodeses,
even the Harley Race that we just discussed.
Harley Race, Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk. Those people were tough, and they had to be tough because it started out as being tough. Today, they're not really started out the way the wrestlers were. All you have to say is, I quit, and they'll let you go. Back then, you couldn't say I quit if they were training you to wrestle. They just continuously beat you up. Now you can put up a card and go, okay, I'm done. I'm enough. No, you didn't say that back then. They were gonna beat you up, and they were gonna make you were either going to be the greatest wrestler of all time. You're going to be good at what you did, or you weren't going to be in the wrestling business.
Well, it wasn't just in the training back then. I still, when I would go to different territories, different places to work, I remember getting tuned up by Tojo Yamamoto to see if I knew what I was doing, if I was tough enough to take it.
I just want people to understand Undertaker was not disrespecting what he was doing, and was telling the story of what wrestling was in the territory days, what it became, and what it is today. It's a completely different business. That's
Absolutely. It's not. There's really no comparison other than the ring. That's the only thing that has in common.
Victor Nash says, Rodney, Mid-South Wrestling episode 289 starts out off with a big brawl with the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Alert.
That is going to be awesome. Yes.
If you did not want to know that, we're sorry.
All you have to do is watch it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look it up. I'm surprised. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good one.
Victor, Mid-South Wrestling is getting good.
It's going to get really, really good here shortly. Dutch Mantell is on the way, and he and Bill Dundee and the Fantastics, about to have some good ones.
Jay Smith, Terry Tater gimmick would have been better than the Rooster.
That would have been great.
I kind of, and I hate to agree with Bruce Pritchard, but whatever they give you, just make it work.
Yeah.
Just do it. Dusty Rhodes made the polka dots work.
Yeah.
Regardless if it was goofy or not, he made it work. And if you make it work, and he said that he should have made it work. If he was a professional, he should have made it work. And everybody had some stupid gimmicks.
Okay, let me give an example. You gave that same gimmick to Austin Idol. He had made it work.
Yeah, you would have made it work.
He'd have made it work. You gave it to Eddie Gilbert. He would have made it work. He would have been the cockiest son of a gun that's ever walked on the planet. And that's the way you did it. But no, he went out there and I don't know. Did you hold those cue cards up where I can read my interview more?
The story I was told, Pat Patterson gave him the gimmick because he was a cocky guy. And he's seen it in him, and he said...
Bill Watts in the Mid-South show said that he was not braggadocious or overbearing, but he was absolutely both. And I think that was that Bill saying that he really was?
Probably so. Larry Roberts.
He was overbearing.
Larry Roberts with us. He is our newest supporter. Thank you so much. He grew up in Columbus, Georgia. Went to the Municipal Auditorium, Jack.
Love that place.
Every week, and we talked a little bit about it, and I said we used to love to go to Columbus, Georgia.
Larry, I was going to ask a question because I want to when all this disease stuff, I want to start making trips and trying to find the historic marks wrestling. And I was wanting to know, is the sports arena in Columbus still there? This is the old offices for Fred Ward.
Glenn Allen said, tells you don't be late.
Okay.
No, you're not supposed to be late here. That's a $50 fine for being late here. I mean, or you can just buy a T-shirt. We'll do that. Talking about that, Jack, let's tell everybody how they can become a insider for our.
Yeah, guys, just go to the Pro Wrestling Inside Out Facebook page. Right there at the very top is the button. You just click on it. It'll take you and walk you through everything. $2.99 a month. You become an official insider. You get all the streams that we do live, of course, just like everybody. But after we get through this, we have other episodes that we tape for the YouTube channel that will come on at a later date. But you guys get to be a part of that live as we tape them. And we get to interact like this a little bit, and you get to see the content first. So there's a lot of stuff that we have coming up. The money goes towards upkeep, for the site, for the website, for YouTube, for the equipment that we have, and for the awesome stuff we have coming up later this year. So become a member, become an insider, be cool.
All right, thank you, Jack. Okay, let's get back to the comments. If I can remember where I was at here. Let's see. Richard Hood said, Tony also said Harley Race beat up Butcher in the hotel. Yeah, I think we just talked about that. I don't think he did.
No.
Jay, man, he meant I bet, not Uber. Okay, that makes more sense, Jay. I didn't know what Uber meant. That's that spell check for you. That'll drive you crazy.
It's a killer.
Stuart Kemp just got back home from the hospital.
Great.
That's good to hear, Stuart. We're glad to hear you're doing well, and glad you are one of our supporters. And also, I got your text about the Abdullah the Butcher picture that we put up just for the supporters. We put one up of Abdullah, just a good little picture of him. That's something else you do get if you become a supporter. We do send pictures and stuff directly to the supporters that we don't send out to everyone else. Christopher said, I did once it was typed, it's stuck. Lynn Gross said Terry had some fantastic matches in Memphis. Lawler, Jarrett, Dundee had a way of getting good matches out of the hands. Yes, they did. Terry did have some good matches in Memphis. I've seen a couple of those matches. I think him and Jacques Rougeau had some pretty decent matches. Jay Smith, he's crying and laughing at the same time. I've done that many times. And Jack and Rodney both are making me do both of those. Actually, Eric says something about Chris Vieira. Does anybody understand what that means?
No.
Maybe there's just somebody here. I don't know. Aloha, gentlemen. They were building him to wrestle Magnum TA. By the way, next Monday night, Robert will be with us, and we will talk Mr. Wrestling 2. And he's got a North American, I think Robert said North American title. And what else belt did he say he had?
Georgia Tag Team titles, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, I think he's got both them titles, and we'll look at.
I think that'll make all three: Georgia Heavyweight, Georgia Tag Team, and then the North American.
Oh, wait a minute! I know why. Here's Chris. Chris now. Okay, we're sorry. We interrupted y'all's conversation together. We didn't know y'all were having a conversation. So now we do know. I'm reading these as they're coming down. So, Michael
Rollerson.
Michael always gets your name wrong, so I try not to use that.
Rollerson, go ahead.
How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Christopher Hughes, Jack, I know a lot of people that have memories like that.
Hey, I'm not disparaging because Lord knows I do it too sometimes.
I've heard some stories sometimes, and you just want to go, huh? What? I don't remember that.
Of course, there's also a thing in the wrestling business that I have found that if you lie enough, you actually start to believe yourself.
This is true. This is true. I can't believe now how many people wrestlers knock Hulk Hogan, and I don't believe he was ever as bad as that. But people are starting to believe that he was a bad man, and I never saw that side of Hulk Hogan, and I mean I wasn't around him a lot, but
it's convenient, to say that they think it gets them over.
Kevin Skelton said, "Hello from Tuscaloosa, Jack. How was the show with Boaz Saturday night?"
Well, it was over, and that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm about the circus.
I'm just going to say he had a great crowd. So he appeals to an audience there, and I got nothing bad to say about that. But it's not my cup of tea, but that's fine.
Larry Roberts. I love a classic match on YouTube from the 60s where Bill Watts was champion and he beat Terry Funk from pillar to post, as they used to say. Yeah. There's also a match with Bill Watts going against Mr. Wrestling. I guess it's from Georgia Championship Wrestling. Great match on television. So make sure you go check that out because that
for the Georgia Heavyweight Championship. Wrestling one is the champion and Bill Watts is the challenger.
Good match. If you haven't seen it, look that up. Glenn Allen Shelton, Chris Adams talked about a young guy in school. He talked about Steve Austin. He did train the Stone Cold one, which Steve Williams to begin with, I believe. I believe he wrestled, but they wouldn't let him wrestle at Steve Williams because Dutch Mantel told him there's already a Steve Williams. He said, "Yeah, right. Me." He said, "No, Dr. Death Steve Williams."
That's right.
Gave him like 10 minutes to come up with a name, I think. And I think Dutch is the one who actually came in and said, "Have you got anything?" And Austin was like, "No." And he said, Austin, you're Steve Austin now.
yeah, I think he said, "You mean the
Lee Majors
$6 million man?"
That's right. Lee Majors come in on him, man.
What's going on with Terry Funk? I don't know anything going on with Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry, Dustin Rhodes posted a thing about asking for prayer for him, which got a lot of people concerned. And then Terry had made a post, also a video, which kind of alluded that his health might be declining real bad. It was clarified today, though, that Terry is just in a lot of pain. He lost his wife in 2019. It's been hard on him. He's having tremendous pain from all the injuries that he's had over the years. His hips, he just can't hardly get around anymore. So that was the basis of what Terry was talking about. He has asked that people stop sending photos and memorabilia in for him to autograph. He said he's, at his age, he's just not up to it anymore.
I hate to hear that about Terry. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He was
an awesome guy. Awesome guy. Even if he did try to pick my girlfriend up one night.
Greg Hickey said, "I super kicked the dude in the shin today." Good vibes. Oh, you did the you did the
Michael Hayes school of drop kick. Yeah.
Oh, Michael Hayes was the greatest. I'm gonna tell you, if we ever did the worst drop kicks in the world, Michael Hayes would be number one.
He drop kicked me one time and hit me right in the belly button, and he got in the back. And I said, "Michael, if I knew you were going to do the drop kick, I would have bent down a little bit more."
We used to make fun of him. Man, we said, "Now, hey," we'd be on the way, we'd do TV, and we would be in there taking down the ring, helping Red and Charlie take the ring down. And we'd always tell them the same thing. So, hey, tonight in Chattanooga, make sure you hit that drop kick because that's always good.
And I love Michael Hayes, though.
Oh, yeah. Man, just a tremendous man. Yeah, tremendous. And you could kid with him. And he would go with it. He would go with it. He didn't get upset with it. Christopher Hughes, I thought Pat Rose was a very good worker. It seems he was getting screwed a lot. I don't get it.
Well, that's just honest truth. Nobody appreciated Pat for the tremendous amount or what a great worker he was. He could talk, he could work, he could do it all.
James L. Moody said Kevin Penley, he is okay, just been in pain with his hip. Rita Cantrell, how you doing, Rita?
Hey, Rita.
Christopher Hughes is 732. Yep, it's on. I'm guessing he's talking about Raw or something.
Yeah, it's all over here to the side over here.
Oh, okay. Victor Nash, Rodney was asking, was that you were working Rich Adams' match. I swore they said your name.
It was probably Ronnie West because Bill
Yeah.
Watts called Dad Ronnie West.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did referee that match, didn't he?
I believe you're right.
Well, it was our father that refereed that match. I'm pretty sure it
I think
was.
so.
Michael said Butch should have had a run as the NWA champion. Great talent he was. He would have been a great champion.
Yeah, I think he would have been tremendous.
Mickey Mayfield said Butch Reed and Ron Simmons Doom were awesome. Loved their matches with LOD. James Moody, BRB got. I should really have somebody read these before.
Well, we hope everything comes out all right.
Yeah, we're hoping you're all right there.
I thought he might have heard you on the pre-show.
Oh man, this has been a weird one tonight. I'll tell you. You said American, Rodney. What's that?
Okay. When I was talking about Chris Adams, the American heavyweight champion.
Oh, okay, I got you. Victor Nash, question: Do any of you know if Adrian Adonis ever faced Adrian Street?
That I
Doesn't
don't
ring
know.
a bell. We'd have to do a YouTube search. If it happened, I'm sure somebody put it.
It's
there.
probably if the closest thing would have been in Southwest, but I don't think that would have happened there either. Adrian Adonis was their world champion right before the incident with the bucket of pig.
What James L. Moody is in the process of.
Yes, that's right. And ended up getting them canceled off of USA.
Richard here said, I went to the UWF show back in '87, the Omni in Atlanta. Worst mistake Bill Watts ever did was running the country. It was lost all kinds of money doing that. Stuart Kemp, I love the era. While we may not see it again, it was a time that the events were something not to miss. You hate it not? Having to enough cash to go. Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. You know, when I was wrestling and they were having those Great American Bash shows, and they were so great, I was wishing that I could get out of some of my booking so that I could go pay to see a wrestling show.
Philip said Randy Orton is a great worker, but I still don't like him.
Well, he's doing his job.
Victor Nash, Brad Armstrong versus Kerry Von Erich would have been a great match. I agree. Christopher Hughes, Bob's a good friend of mine, an awesome guy, training the future here in Florida.
Yep, thank the world of Bob.
Paul Ante, it says Leon Spinks was 67. And Philip said the same thing. He was 67 years old. They said that maybe he had cancer, Leon Spinks.
I believe so. I think he'd been battling cancer for several years.
Richard Hood also said he was 67. David Lawson, what do you all think of Bobby Eaton slaps when he threw a punch?
I think they meant something because he didn't do it with every punch.
That's true.
Like I said, I don't mind slaps if they mean something. There's a lot of stuff I don't mind if they mean something. I don't mind a dive if it means something. But when everybody on the card does it, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it wasn't as noticeable as Terry Taylor and he slapped to the leg. Kevin Bentley, Mike Jackson would run the concession stand, put up and take the ring, take tickets, and Vince does all this for them. Hey, I'm going to tell you what, our father did stuff like that. He was selling tickets, and then because we had no announcer, he would announce it, and then he went in and refereed the matches at the same time, all in one night.
Yep.
Rick Brooks got some new T-shirts last week. Pro Wrestling Inside Out. Rowdy Roddy Piper, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Pro Wrestling Tees. You can get them all there.
Yep. I ordered a couple this week myself.
Glenn Allen, we're going to have to leave in a minute, so I'm going to try to get some of these through. Glenn Allen Shelton, 1986 in Texas. By the way, Mrs. Boring, Kevin Finley.
Don't tell my 11-year-old. She loves it.
Eric said, hello from Shreveport. Ric Flair once told a story that when he was just starting, he and Dick Murdoch and some others were eating, and Rick went to grab one of the French fries they were sharing, and Murdoch stabbed his hand with a fork. and told him rookies can't eat his fries.
I had read that story. They treated Rick horrible. They made him earn his spot.
Yes. Michael said Miz is like a gnat. Victor Nash, they used to have brass knuckles matches and brass knuckle champions, but unfortunately I never saw one. They just weren't televised. I guess because they were going to be bloody and vicious.
Yeah, that was the gimmick for those.
Let's see. Eric said that's what he means by tough. If that happened today, there would have been police involved and all kinds of BS.
Lawsuits.
Okay. Yeah. The guys just took care of it themselves back in those days. And all right, guys, we do have a lot of more comments, but we are running out of time. If you have not, make sure you become a supporter, because now we're going to talk about wrestling a little bit more. For about we were usually on there between 45 minutes as well. We're going to go over to the supporters. Let's see, what are we talking about tonight on the supporter things? NWA.
Herb Abrams, the Sportatorium, NWA Hollywood, and Black History Month.
All right, so that's all coming up. Now I think that's tomorrow night, ain't it?
Oh, is it? Okay, well that's both nights.
Tonight's NWA Hollywood Wrestling. Okay. And the Dallas Sportatorium. We're going to talk about that coming up on the supporter deal. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for being a part. I think, Jack, if I'm not mistaken, we're almost at 21,000 insiders, followers on Facebook.
We are.
Almost 1,200 subscribers, and it's because of you sharing our stuff, telling people about it. Continue to do so. We've got a lot of things coming up. If we wasn't going on with what's going on today, we'd already have all kinds of big things going on. But as things go, it's maybe pushes the back.
And everything we do for you guys. Because if it was just up to us, it'd be cheaper for us to meet once a month at B's Restaurant and sit for a few hours and talk wrestling. But we enjoy being on here and talking to all you guys. So we appreciate it and every one of you being a part of the program.
Yeah, thank you so much. And tomorrow night, we have a special guest tomorrow night, Jack. And we won't tell you who it is until they get on, because you never know if they'll get on or not.
That's true, but boy, she sure is pretty.
So make sure you make plans to be with us tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, as we have a special guest that we'll talk to tomorrow night. And you can ask questions when she finally gets on. You'll know who it is. And because we used to tell people that, but something may happen, and then if they don't show up, then people get a little hot at us. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you so much, and we're off. For all the supporters, we'll see you over in the special room as we talk about professional wrestling, and we'll see everyone tomorrow night.